Hey guys, Ethan here from Extreme RC 4x4. As you can see, I have made up yet another chassis. This one is going to be getting the Blazer treatment. I've had this body sitting on the shelf for many years. If you remember the video this was filmed in, if you've seen that, you've been following the channel for a very long time, and I appreciate that. This was originally on my Trailfinder, but it didn't quite look right to me, and the tires rubbed a lot, and I didn't want to just destroy the beautiful body. I wanted to wait to get the right chassis for it, and here it is. So this is one of my custom chassis. Should be available soon. I'm working on redoing the website this year, so that'll be up there. I'm gonna offer a bunch of different options for the chassis, so if you want to get the nice chassis like I run, you can, or if you don't need all the options that I have already in here, you can get the same set of rails, just slightly different so that it's a little bit cheaper. All those different options, so look out for that. Should be up pretty soon. No promises though. So basically, with this truck, what I'm going to plan on changing over my other competition truck is I'm not going to be running a full-size stick pack in it. I'm going to run these little tiny lipos, which I ran in my TRX4 as well. So this is probably going to sit right up here next to the servo. And then I do have a servo for this. I have a transmission that I can put in this. And I have drive shafts too. And I have a 45 turn motor I can put in this. But that might be a little lacking in wheel speed, so I'm not sure about that yet. But this new skid plate design, I'm gonna have to modify the chassis to make this work. I just noticed that and killed the last video because I noticed this and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I'm gonna have to cut a little bit out of the frame here, and then this, because the transmission is moved further back. So yes, that's what's happening with this skid plate. I can already see this design needs to be changed, so I'm gonna have to print another one of these. I know right now I'm printing the front. I'm not even cutting aluminum shock towers for this one. I'm just making 3D printed wheel wells. Hopefully they're strong enough. I'm trying to work on designing 3D printed parts to be strong and durable. So that'll be a good test for that. These are 1.55 Mud Thrasher tires that come on all the Trailfinders. You can pick them up super cheap used. I think that's what happened with this set, because I have like a ton of these Mud Thrashers everywhere, and I was going to build a bunch of trailers, but I started building chassis, so I guess I got really sidetracked with that. But these wheels here are 3D printed PLA. I'm not going to run them. They're just like a design test for me to be able to see. Sometimes it's just nice to hold something in your hand instead of looking at it on a computer screen. So that's what these are. I'm planning on machining those as beadlock wheels for this specifically. Aluminum would look really nice, but I don't know if I'm gonna do another aluminum set right now. It's just a ton of machining time. It's nowhere near as short of a time as like GCM or Vanquish can do it. I'm talking like 30 hours of machining that goes into some of these wheels, so I might do it, I might not, and it's still debatable. But I'm hoping I can still run these Team Associated shocks if I just stiffen up the spring rate, because all it is this little battery, the transmission, 540 motor, and I'm gonna probably have to 3D print some side steps for this, just because I want to put the electronics trays on the side, and in the rear I might just try to 3D print like a whole like rear bed tray so it looks kind of scale in there. But I'm not sure. If I'm only running like a minimalistic amount of electronics, this could make for a really good scale build. Even though it is Lexan, I know. But this body is going to look great on this chassis. always doesn't look as good until it gets mounted, but these tires in here look like maybe slightly oversized from factory, like you would see on kind of like a daily driver build. But keep watching the video, guys. I'm gonna keep showing small progress to it. No crazy plans for it yet, but we'll see what happens. There is a competition coming up in a few days, and I love to cram in projects before competitions, so you never know. This might be getting taken to the competition. It might not. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching and enjoy the video. Okay, guys, got the last wheel well done. This is an old design, this is the new design, so I printed a new one. Go ahead and pull this guy off, and then we'll put this last one on. Only one screw holding it on at the moment. Thought I might as well show you guys the rear inner fenders before I slap them on here. What I did with these is, because the wheels will never get all the way up flat against the frame rail like they might on the front because they turn, I made this is the part that goes up against the frame rail, and then it's set in 1/2 inch because these skinny tires will never get within that proximity to the frame rail. I mean, they might rub slightly, but no issues there. And then the shock mount remains close to the frame rail. So this should make it look like we have a little bit more interior space in the back of this truck. Once it's installed on here, everything is nice and rounded. Even though it may not look like it, it looks a lot better on the computer screen, but we'll go ahead and put it on here. As you can see, there's a bunch of open holes on here for me to attach these with if I do need extra support or just some other mounting options. The holes are there, so. Okay, so just like that, it is all installed on here and ready to go. As I add more cross members, of course, I will continue to attach it on here, and we can go ahead and take a little look how everything sets. So they're not snug with the body, but I didn't want them to be because with the vibration, those inner fenders could easily take the paint off the inside of these bodies, and I have had that happen before, so that's, I guess, my reasoning for it. But happy with how those came out. Should help keep the mud out of the inside of the truck, and if not, just make it look better. Next up is, I guess, to make some running boards for this, or just electronics trays that'll sit down here. I've also got a new transmission mount to print up quickly. Alrighty, guys, so as you can see, I have the Blazer body kind of mounted on here, but I'm going to go ahead and quick pull it off, and then I'll talk about how I'm mounting this up here. Alright, so as you guys can tell, I made some kind of floor pans that go in here. This is my test version, but now I have some final design ones. Usually when I'm printing something first try, there's always something that has to get changed that you didn't anticipate. Stuff like that you can actually see once you can hold it in your hand. So these are just printed in PLA gray stuff. because I didn't want to run out of the black like I'm using here. So these are the new floor pans. As you can tell, these have holes in the bottom so I can get a screw in, but what I've done is notched the top side of this out so that I can still get into those a little bit easier, I guess. But so we'll go ahead and throw these on here. I'll show you how they install as I'm putting them on. I do have the like ball end driver for this just because it is at an angle. Alright, now I can throw this guy on here.
Let's see. Now go ahead and do this side here. Should be pretty easy. Alright, now we'll go ahead and stick the new one on here. Just like that.
Alright, so just like that, they're all installed on here. So pretty clean looking truck if you ask me. Just you know, seals up the whole rig just like that. And I do have some mounts in here for where I can put rock sliders mounted on the bottom side. And what I've chosen to do with this is, since I already had this body on my trail finder before, I do have some holes for the trail finder to mount. So I just matched those holes up to this chassis, and that's what I'm gonna try for now. And if it's too flimsy, I guess I will have to do something with some real body posts and such, but I kind of wanted to avoid drilling holes in this body. Just because it already is painted and it already looks really nice. So I'll go ahead and try to mount this guy up here so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay guys, so that is how it is gonna sit here on the frame. These screws are a little bit long, so they don't go completely against the body, which I guess could be a good thing, so that the screws aren't, you know, rubbing on the paint. But this side looks good too. And as you can see, these are pretty much, I have them pretty much matched up with the rocker panels. So even if something does push up against the side of the body, it is very firm, which I do like. And the wheelbase, I think I have the wheelbase matched up really well. Look there. So the rear is good, front is good. I'm sure we'll still have a little bit of tire rub on the front, but I guess that's to be expected. In the rear, the body is not perfectly centered. It might just be the way the tires are sitting on the wheels, but we'll have to address that. And of course the track bar will push the wheels out a little bit, so a little bit of trimming there, I guess, but nothing too big. So yeah, that's all mounted up, and I think that's gonna be it for this first episode of the build. As you can tell, we got it mounted up on the chassis, the axle set under here, and inner fenders, and then the floor pans. So coming together pretty nicely. I have some other things coming for it, front brush guard, and I'm definitely gonna have to do a rear bumper because there's nothing happening in the back yet. And I still need to do some wheels because these wheels are not just gonna hold it on here because they're not even glued. Feel free to let me know what you guys think of the build so far. If you have anything you'd like to see me do with this truck, it's pretty open-ended still. Just got it all kind of set as a roller, and lots to come still, electronics and bumpers and sliders and whatnot. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.